This week on ANN, a major evangelistic campaign wraps up in Tanzania.
Loma Linda University Surgical Hospital is honored as a top workplace in the United States.
And Seventh-day Adventists in Jamaica rallied together to bring attention to recent violence in their community.
These stories and more coming up.
Thanks so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, more than 19,000 people were baptized in Mwanza, Tanzania, after attending a 3-week Revelation of Hope series hosted by Seventh-day Adventist evangelist Mark Finley. It is estimated that more than 40,000 people attended the meetings.
Finley's wife, Ernestine, better known as Teeny, held 21 health presentations during the meetings, and her classes for pastors and lay people left an impact on the nation.
The Kirumba CCM Stadium, where the meetings took place, was transformed into a health center. Before the series ended, it was reported that more than 9,000 patients were treated.
In his closing remarks, the regional commissioner of the Mwanza region, John Mongera, referred to the Adventist church as our church. He commended the organization for good relationships with the government. He said, "We owe you, Seventh-day Adventists, a great debt of gratitude. Thank you for fighting ignorance among our people through education and health."
The meeting's success also depended on the church members who contributed time and resources. Besides visitation and personal invitations, some offered to refuel vehicles used for the duration of the meetings.
Other members freely accommodated pastors and translators in their apartments, and others equipped the stadium with powerful sound equipment. Finley said that active membership during the meetings was total member involvement in action.
The meetings were organized by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in northern Tanzania. All the presentations were broadcast live on Hope Channel Tanzania. Besides the main site in the rocky city of Mwanza, more than 4,000 sites received the signal in Tanzania and in the neighboring countries.
Modern Healthcare, the leading source of healthcare business news, research, and data, has named Loma Linda University Surgical Hospital as one of the 2018 best places to work. Loma Linda University Surgical Hospital will be honored on September 27, 2018 at the 11th Annual 2018 Best Places to Work Gala. The gala honors workplaces throughout the healthcare industry that empower employees to provide patients with the best possible care, service, and products. Modern Healthcare partners with the Best Companies Group on the assessment process, which included an extensive employee survey completed by a random selection of the 440 employees at Surgical Hospital. Jonathan John Marie, Vice President and Administrator of Loma Linda University Medical Center East Campus Hospital and Surgical Hospital, said, "This award validates our commitment not only to our patients, but our employees who continue to be leaders in patient-centered care." For more information on Loma Linda University Surgical Hospital, visit lluh.org/locations/Loma Linda University Surgical Hospital.
Recently, several Adventist churches in western Jamaica rallied together for Community Impact Program. The event was planned in light of recent violence in Grange Hill and the surrounding communities. These acts of violence involved 7 fatalities, including 2 children, and left another 10 people wounded. The Community Impact Program took place during the Sabbath morning worship service. Instead of being in the building, though, members took to the streets to meet, pray, and offer counsel to community members. A march and rally were also held at the Marcus White Transport Center as a way to bring awareness to the community. 2 key themes came from this program. Family must be a priority and preventive steps are needed. Delgado Black, pastor of the Grange Hill District of Churches, said since the incidents, church leaders have been working with the members of the Jamaican Parliament to organize social intervention programs and chart a roadmap to move forward. Member of Parliament Dr. Wycombe McNeil, who was present for the rally, said, "I'm really thankful to the members of the church, those from Grange Hill who are here, and those from the wider Jamaica to have come today to show their support, to show their willingness to work with us to overcome this hurdle." He also lauded the Adventist Church for the involvement of men and youth in its programs that involve the church and the community. One preventive measure launched by the Adventist Church in West Jamaica is a youth mentorship program founded March 2017 with the objective of involving 14,000 Adventist young persons, each mentoring another young person in their community. For more information, visit news.adventist.org.
To help engage the public in response to the refugee crisis, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency collaborated with the Sligo Seventh-day Adventist Church to co-host an information fair and film screening on May 20 in the U.S. state of Maryland. 10 humanitarian agencies participated in the community event, providing attendees with information on how they can help serve refugees in Maryland and globally. Kate Stewart, mayor of Tacoma Park, and Maryland State Assemblywoman Janelle Wilkins spoke at the event, recognizing the work of organizations and individuals who welcome refugees to the area and provide assistance around the world. Wilkins presented ADRA with a state citation commending the work the humanitarian agency does on behalf of refugees and internally displaced people around the globe. Wilkins also presented a citation to Sligo Church member Hannah Kopile for her volunteer work with the refugee resettlement programs at National Community Church. To date, ADRA is working in 39 countries providing aid to refugees who have been forced to cross country borders under threat of persecution, conflict, and violence. ADRA has been helping refugees receive food, shelter, and hygiene kits. Imad Mandanat, Vice President for Programs at ADRA International, said, "It is very inspiring for ADRA's work supporting refugees to be recognized this way by the state of Maryland. This plaque represents all of ADRA's frontline workers and volunteers who work hard, even in the midst of danger, while demonstrating compassion and following Jesus' example to reach the most vulnerable and marginalized." The event ended with the screening of the documentary film Human Flow, which captures the perilous journey of refugee individuals and families over the course of a year in 23 countries, including Afghanistan, Bangladesh, France, Greece, Germany, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Kenya, Mexico, and Turkey. Viewers got an eye-opening look about the refugees' desperate search for safety, shelter, and justice, and the courage it took to cross into the unknown. 3 months after Cyclone Gita devastated Tonga, work has begun to rebuild classrooms at Beulah Adventist College.
A team of 9 volunteers from the United States arrived on May 12 to conduct the construction work. Beulah alumni from the U.S. sponsored the team, while Tongan alumni, parents, church members, teachers, and students are taking turns supplying meals to the volunteers during this 3-week visit.
The construction work has also been boosted by donations from Littleton Adventist Church and their local community in Denver, Colorado, U.S.
A mini opening of the rebuilt classrooms is being planned for May 29. In the meantime, classes continue to be held in tents.
Trans-Pacific Union Mission Associate Director of Education Mele Vahala expressed her thanks to the various local and international groups who are getting behind the project and reminded everyone that Adventist education is about total member involvement.
On behalf of the Union Education Department, we would like to thank the Littleton Adventist Church, Denver community, and the U.S. Beulah College alumni for their sacrifice in order to assist and support the school with the rebuilding of the classrooms in order for the school to resume back to its normal program.
Vahala also thanked staff and students for their perseverance and the church community and Tonga alumni for their support.
Coming up, the conclusion to our story of a new school in Siberia.
But up next, we'll hear how Maranatha provides life-giving water to many in desperate need in sub-Saharan Africa.
Welcome back.
For some of us, water is a presumption. It's accessible, safe, and bountiful. We don't think about the necessity of water because it's always available.
According to the World Health Organization, 844 million people are living without access to clean water. Women and girls spend up to 6 hours a day collecting water.
In some countries in sub-Saharan Africa, children have to take turns leaving the classroom to gather water for their school for hand washing and drinking. It is a disruption to their education, as a single trip can take an hour.
Since 2009, Maranatha Volunteers International has provided nearly 1,000 water wells, most of them in sub-Saharan Africa, where the crisis affects more than 345 million people.
Through these efforts, Maranatha's work has provided clean water to an estimated 500,000 people. That number has the potential to grow exponentially.
Recently, a donor sponsored a well rig for Maranatha in Africa. Now, instead of working with contractors, Maranatha has a dedicated team going from village to drill.
To find out more about this project and to watch Life-Giving Water, a Maranatha mission story, visit maranatha.org.
Last September, the 1,400-member Philadelphia Adventist Church in St. Thomas was hit by the Category 5 storm Hurricane Irma. Finally, on Sabbath, May 19, 2018, 8 months later, worshipers returned for services in the lower level of the church. For the past few months, the Philadelphia church merged with Shiloh Adventist Church, which did not suffer significant damage. The merger fostered a stronger relationship between the two congregations. Pastor Desmond James, pastor of the North Caribbean Conference, or NCC, said, "The members have bonded and the ministry is rich and services are great. Nonetheless, because the members have different needs, it is important that they provide ministry to the membership." During this restoration phase, NCC administrators are committed to assisting with resettling the congregation and providing assistance and support, as there are still several hurdles for the church to overcome. Philadelphia Adventist Church has also received support from members locally and around the globe. One of these teams included more than 50 volunteers from Andrews University in Michigan. The group took one day from a Caribbean cruise mission trip to clear debris from the property. It is still uncertain when the sanctuary of the Philadelphia Adventist Church will be completely repaired. So until then, worship services will continue to meet in the fellowship hall in the lower level. For more information, visit news.adventist.org.
A team of surgeons from Florida Hospital and Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh of UPMC performed Central Florida's first pediatric liver transplant, saving the life of a local teenager. The healthcare systems are pleased to announce the child was just released from the hospital and is continuing his recovery at home. The teen's identity is not being disclosed to protect his privacy. Florida Hospital for Children and Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh of UPMC launched a partnership in late 2017 to make life-saving pediatric liver transplants available throughout North and Central Florida. Prior to the partnership, the only active pediatric liver transplant program in Florida was in Miami. 4 physicians, as well as a team of operating room and intensive care nurses, traveled from Pittsburgh to Orlando to perform the surgery, alongside counterparts from the Florida Hospital team, represented by both Florida Hospital for Children and the Florida Hospital Transplant Institute. The Florida Hospital Transplant Institute is one of the busiest transplant centers in the state, offering kidney, liver, kidney, pancreas, lung, and heart transplants. The adult liver transplant program has one of the best outcomes in the U.S. Florida Hospital, a Seventh-day Adventist network of healthcare institutions in the U.S. state of Florida, is one of the country's largest not-for-profit healthcare providers with 22 campuses serving communities throughout the state. Its stated mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ.
Recently, 15 Icelandic volunteers completed a full weekend of media training. The idea was simple: to inspire the volunteers with creative ideas and provide them with knowledge, both technical and practical, on how to create content to be used on video websites and social media. The training was provided by Victor Holbert, Communication and Media Director for the Adventist Church in the Trans-European region, and Inger Borsen of Hope Channel, Norway. The volunteers were encouraged to produce material aimed at their population of just over 350,000 by using their own mother tongue. While a high proportion of Icelanders are fluent in English, they are proud of their language, and sharing Adventist hope in Icelandic and in the context of Icelandic culture can make a significant impression. Pastors Holbert and Borsen shared a series of practical and theoretical interactive workshops that included script writing, equipment, sound, lighting, and interview skills. The training included the opportunity to test the volunteers' gained interviewing and videography skills in Reykjavik City Center, where they engaged the local community in street interviews. On Sunday, volunteers also learned to interview in a more controlled environment and the principles of sharing a message using a teleprompter along with basic presenting skills. The idea of bringing Hope Channel to Iceland has been in development during the past year. With the first media training in Iceland, that dream is now one step closer to fulfillment. For more information about this event, visit ted.adventist.org/news.
Last week, we heard the story of the first Seventh-day Adventist school opened in Tonga, Siberia.
Since then, the school has been ministering to the community around them.
Today, we hear the conclusion of their story.
The Adventist Church in Eurasia sent this report.
Смотивировал на этот поступок. Вообще я переживала коммуникабельности ребенка, сможет ли она себя реализовать как личность и развиваться полноценной личностью. Я была больше против, но я пошла за мужем, и в этом я нисколько не жалею. Я думаю, она получает большое удовольствие. Ходит в школу, общается с ребятами, с учителями. Она с большим удовольствием берет знания, которые учителя нам дают, и ей это очень нравится. В дальнейшем я хочу отдать сыну.
Преимущества адвентистского образования уже обнаружили себя в многочисленных грамотах и дипломах. Ученики этой школы участвуют в различных учебных олимпиадах и занимают призовые места. Поэтому ясно, что качество получаемых детьми знаний не страдает, но напротив, знания лучше осмысливаются и понимаются детьми.
Здесь ты действительно каждому ребенку индивидуально даешь те знания и тот уровень, который ты видишь, что он может достичь. И поэтому это образование, оно дает больше преимуществ. То есть мы не торопимся, мы не бежим, пока каждый из детей не усвоит какой-то материал. То есть мы ждем каждого, и мы стараемся донести до каждого, чтобы дети были грамотными, образованными и получили те знания, которые им необходимы.
И в то же время христианское образование нацелено не только на интеллектуальное развитие ребенка, но и на воспитание в детях любви к ближнему и пониманию того, что они уже сейчас и в будущем могут служить другим людям.
Вы знаете, я благодарна Богу, что, видимо, пришло время, что надо готовить нам детей к будущему служению. И это начинается уже сейчас, и я к этому причастна. Научить детей. Ведь не просто дать знания, они это получают в университетских школах. Но у нас задача, мне кажется, другая, потому что мы своими знаниями мы даем понимать детям, что все, что сотворено в мире, оно сотворено кем-то, а это Бог. И что все свои надежды в будущем мы тоже стараемся проявить таким образом, чтобы быть полезными людям.
Для привития детям христианских ценностей 2 раза в неделю проходят уроки доброты, которые ведет пастор местной церкви. А учебный день начинается с детского рассказа, мотивирующего ребенка к добру.
Она всегда уходит с настроением. Может, ей тяжело вставать, но с занятий она всегда приходит с позитивом. Она вот только дверь открывает, и вот это прям лучик как пришел, вот она: мама, я там что-то сделала, мама, я там получила 5 или 4, то есть она, или там что-то случилось, они там фильм снимать будут, для нее это большие достижения, ей это нравится.
В этом году организовано обучение только для учеников 1 и 2 классов, а со следующего года будут оказываться услуги для учеников всех классов начальной школы. Община очень благодарна Богу за то, что Он сотворил великое чудо в Тюмени и благословил их открытием первой адвентистской школы в Сибири.
Coming up, World Refugee Day is June 20. Emily Strapa is here to talk about how the Adventist Church is getting involved.
But up next, we hear how being a missionary on the island of Palau changed one man's life.
May I work in with you, young fella?
Yeah. Go for it.
That's the way you do it. Got to put a little weight on it. But I'll put it back up here for you.
Welcome back.
What is mission work like on the beautiful South Pacific island of Palau?
We'll talk to a missionary who shares both the rewards and challenges of working here.
Adventist Mission sent this report.
For me, in my own spiritual experience, I have seen God work in so many incredible ways. I would only say that I've been a real Christian for the past few years, and a lot of that is due to my experience being out here in Palau. For those who have never been here before, Palau, it's like nature just times 100 of anything you've ever experienced before. It's so pristine, it's so calm, it's so peaceful, and the people are so loving and they're so giving. For me personally, I feel more at home here in Palau sometimes than I do even back home in the States where I'm from. I've been here in Palau for 4 years, and I'm currently the chaplain of both the elementary school and the high school while teaching junior and senior Bible at the high school. Not only is Palau such a beautiful place to look at and to be in, but for me especially, the thing that keeps me coming back has always been the kids. I love them, and I love the interactions that we have, and I love getting to see them grow in a spiritual way. We have a lot of great spiritual emphasis programs with the school, and especially as chaplain, I've been able to see students really enjoy getting to know what the Bible has to say, and to have bravery when it comes to asking questions about the Bible so that they can learn more about what it actually has to say.
All right, guys, go back to your seats. Go back to your seats, guys, go back to your seats. All right.
Some of the challenges that can come up from being here, one of the biggest is definitely communicating with people back home. It's hard to stay connected, and you're kind of on your own on an island, and it can be hard sometimes to find people you can trust when it comes to furthering your spiritual experience. Seeing how God has led me and helped me make decisions and the path He's put me on for the future, I can definitely see that He's in control out here. I was scared to be the chaplain. I didn't want that responsibility. And things kind of ended up that I was able to become the chaplain for my second year coming back. And I didn't think I was ready, but I was ready to see what God could do through me in that position. The people out here are ready to hear the gospel. There's just very few people who have been willing to come out here and to serve. Jesus found His greatest blessing in service when He was here, and if we want to figure out how to get closest to Him, then our best bet is to go out and serve the same way that He did. If God calls me to stay longer, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting adventistmission.org, then click on videos at the top.
This year, the Adventist Church recognizes Refugee Sabbath on June 16, the Sabbath before World Refugee Day on June 20.
Adventists around the world are working hard to help alleviate the pain of these suffering people. Emily Mistrapa is here to share how you can get involved.
Every single minute, around 20 people are forced from their homes due to conflict or persecution. Over 65 million people around the world have been forcibly displaced within their own countries or across borders, and more than half of them are under 18 years old. Saturday, June 18, has been designated the Seventh-day Adventist Church's World Refugee Sabbath. This day has been set aside to raise awareness of the needs of those people who have been displaced from their homes due to civil unrest and persecution. Churches, groups, families, and individuals are invited to participate using the resources made available at Adventist.org. We also encourage everyone to explore the information and stories shared by the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA. ADRA has made available information, stories, facts, and photos on this subject to help further a broader understanding of refugees and to challenge some of the misconceptions around the topic. You can learn more at adra.org. The Trans-European and Inter-European divisions are inviting members to join ADRA in a live video from Serbia for this special Sabbath. They will be broadcasting from the ADRA Community Center in Belgrade. You can join the live video on Facebook. Just search for the event World Refugee Sabbath. The Trans-European Division also has a YouTube channel with encouraging reports of the work they are doing for refugees. You can watch these on their channel TED-Adventist. You can also get involved in World Refugee Day on June 20. You can find information and stories at unhcr.org/Refugee Day. Show your support by using the hashtag #WithRefugees.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, the first issue of Signs of the Times was published.
This week in Adventist history has a Pacific Coast feel to it. On June 4, 1874, the first issue of the Signs of the Times appeared. The main paper of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Review and Herald, was published in Battle Creek, which had been fine in the movement's first 2 decades. But by the mid-1870s, 6% of church members were in California, where Ellen and James White had moved in order to evangelize. And yet at the time it took 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks, for copies of the Review to make it to California. And so there was a need for a local West Coast Seventh-day Adventist paper. Accordingly, James White founded yet another Adventist journal, and he named it after an old Millerite paper, The Signs of the Times. The Signs often reprinted news reports from the Review, which continued as the main paper, but the Signs always had a strong foreign mission focus. It continued as a weekly until 1956, but from 1957 it became a monthly color magazine instead of a weekly paper. Today it is a healthy lifestyle-focused monthly magazine. For the whole of this week and beyond, 87 years ago, the 42nd General Conference session was meeting in San Francisco. In all, it met from May 28 through June 12, 1930, with 577 delegates in attendance, and it was notable for the number of what were then called nationals, that is, delegates from a mission field who were members of its indigenous population instead of missionaries. You see here a photo of nationals in attendance at the 1930 session, representing 13 countries, plus Hawaii, which was not yet then a U.S. state. And perhaps appropriately, it was this session that was the first to elect a General Conference president who was not a U.S. citizen. Instead, as president, it elected C.H. Watson, who you see here, who was from Australia's Pacific Coast. Watson served 6 years as president, steering the denominational ship through the dangerous waters of the Great Depression. Looking back, the 1930 session was a notable turning point in Adventist history. It was when worldwide mission began to be a reality rather than an aspiration. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details, and feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Psalms chapter 33, verse 18.
The passage says, "Watch this, God's eye is on those who respect him, the ones who are looking for his love. He is ready to come to their rescue in bad times, in lean times. He keeps body and soul together."
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.